Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am African Crab. Today we are going to work on how to make this scudi. I made this using 100% wool, that is wool ease. That's what I used. I have black today and I'm not going to be working with black because it's hard to see what I'm doing. I'll be using leftover yarn, which is the Hometown USA. I recommend you get a thick chunky yarn. The wool ease is the best one. But if you have people that are sensitive to wool, go ahead and use acrylic yarn. The Hometown USA is really great. I have a lot of the leftover in green, so that's what I'm going to be using. So let me take this off. It's really warm. I'm in Arizona, so you don't want to be wearing anything this warm this time of year. Okay, you need a 9mm hook. If you have tight tension, go ahead and use a 10mm hook. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move this down so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we are. Okay, take your yarn, make a slip knot. We will be using the half double crochet instead of the, we're going to be using a double crochet instead of the half double crochet, which is what I used on the other project. This is because I want to finish this project faster. Okay, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, and in the first stitch, go through the first stitch, yarn over, pull through. You will have 3 stitches on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first stitch, then yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have 2 left, yarn over and pull through the last 2, yarn over, and at the top you'll see you have 2 sides of the stitch. See those 2? We're going to work beneath those 2. Okay, you've yarned over, go beneath those 2, yarn over, pull through, and we're going to repeat the same thing. Pull through the first stitch, you'll have 3 left, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. And the reason we're doing this is to help build a foundation without having to make a chain. So continue this. This project is good for beginners as long as they know the basics in crochet. If you do not know the basics of crochet, I would encourage you to look up videos on how to make a slip knot, the double crochet, the half double crochet, the single crochet, and then come back and look at this. This is a great way to make a foundation without the chain and then going through working a double crochet in each of the stitches. So this gives you the double crochet right at the beginning, and so we're going to work 26 of these stitches. Okay, as you can see, this is what it's making. Pretty much your double crochet without having to go through the chain first. Okay, if you have a problem with doing it the way I am, go ahead and just chain 27, and then work 26 double crochets, and that's still the same foundation that we are working on here. So we want 26 foundation double crochets. Let's see, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. This is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. 26. And this is basically your first row. So this is what we have. Okay, like I said, if this is difficult for you to make, just go ahead and chain 27 and then work a double crochet in the second stitch from the chain on your hook, and go ahead and work the rest of the chains, creating this bar. This is our foundation and row 1. Okay, when you're done with that, chain 2, 1, 2, turn your work around. We will be working in the back loop only. In crochet, there's always two sides of your work. If you change it like that, you have the back and the top one is the front. We're going to work on the back only. Your chain 2 acts as your first stitch. Okay, so in the second stitch, work a double crochet and a double crochet in each of the stitches up to the end, and then I'll show you what to do. This is the cup. This is the hood that we will be working on first. So let's go ahead and get to the end of it, and I will show you how to turn this into the hood. It's a very simple project really, and the double crochet builds up really fast. If you're a fast crocheter, this should be a project for just an hour, a 1 hour project. And if you have a medium speed, you should complete this project in an hour and a half. When I'm not disturbed, I finish this project in 50 minutes. So still, we're looking at about an hour or so, including adding the string for the hood. So I don't know how long this video will take. I'm gonna try and make sure I complete this video in one video. I'm hoping. I don't like it when it's way too long. Okay, so we're back at the end of the row. So once you get to the end of the row, we are going to work this way. Now, your first chain 2 at the beginning, you are going to work in each of those stitches. As you can see, there is 2 sides to each of these. 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're going to work in the back side of each of them. So you had 26 here, this makes 27, and in the next stitch that makes 28. And then you see you have your straggler here at the beginning, and this is going to be the back of the hood. Okay, so keep working into the next stitch, which is the first stitch on this side of the work, and we are continuing in the back side only. Okay, so we're going to continue working a double crochet in the back side of this side of the work. We started this way, and we're going to make a loop like that. We're going to go working this way. So continue working a double crochet in each of the stitches, and as you work, you see this is forming kind of a cup in there. Okay, and that's the back of your hood. So keep working a double crochet in each of the stitches. Until you get to the end of the row. And this, of course, will be row 3 of your work. Just woke up. This is why it's hard to make these tutorials, because he's with me full time, and I never seem to have a free hour to do anything without him. So Okay, so we're coming to the end of row 3. Now make sure you don't forget to work on top of your chain 2 because that's your first stitch. If you make that mistake, your work will be warped. Okay, and we've gotten here. Now this is going to be the base and that's the top. So we're going to chain 2, turn your work around and go back where we started. And we're going to work a double crochet in each of the stitches again. Just we're not closing the base. As you see, this is going to be straight. The curved part is going to be here. Okay, again, we are working only on the back side. This is row 4, and basically we are going to work 24 rows. Okay, keep working and you will see that the hood will curve by itself, and it's a pretty simple project to work on the hood. Work a double crochet in each stitch. Up to the end of your row, which will be working this way around the curve and back there, and then we'll turn back and come this way. Okay, so let's keep working the double crochet all around. Now, if you count each of the loops as a row, you should have 12. If you count half of it at each row, then you should have 12 on one side and 12 on the other side, giving you a total of 24. That's why I say 24. But otherwise, this should be 12 rows because we're pretty much going this way and then that way, this way and back. So we're creating the hood. And after this row, you will see that you actually have a really good curve. So we are working a double crochet in each stitch, back stitch only. Your straggler should be the marker at the base of your hood. Okay, as you can see, it's right here at the back. So as we keep working, the hood will start to curve by itself and give it a really nice back. Okay, so keep working until you have 24 rows, or basically 12 lines in a curving position. So see, I have gone past it, and now I have, this is going to be your hood. As you can see, as we go this way and come back this way, we're going to create the hood. It's a very simple project, really. And the reason I use the double crochet instead of the half double crochet is because it works up much faster, seeing as I have very little time on my hands. And I have been promising to work on this tutorial long enough that I'm starting to feel guilty about not completing it. Okay, so go ahead and complete your 24 rows, and I will meet you back here. I'm going to work on this as well until we build all the 24. The problem working with leftover yarn is because I'm getting it stuck, but don't worry, go ahead and work on your 24 rows, and I will meet you back here. Okay, your work should start to cover now, so go ahead and work on your 24, and I'll meet you right back here. Alright, so I've gone ahead and worked my 24 rows, and this is what your work should look like. A perfect square. You should have a square. Okay? And if you get that square and fold it this way, it should look like that. This is what your hood is looking like. And I can put it on my head. Let's see. And this is what the hood is like. Okay? And this is what the side you're working on will be the front. We will turn it, as you can see, and it gives it a really nice ribbed side, and this way as well. Okay? So, now that we are done with working on the hood, let me put back this stitch. Okay, you should have a perfectly good square with 26 rows if you count them individually on each side, but if you count each line, you should have a total of 12. Go ahead and slip stitch and cut your yarn so that you have your work like that. We're going to start working on the neck part. Okay, and if you fold your work like that, the very first foundation row we worked on is going to be your marker at the back of the head. If I turn my work this way, that's my straggler at the beginning. This should be your measure, okay? And we're going to start working on the neck right there at the middle. Put your needle there. And then I'm going to get my yarn here and start working on that. Go ahead and make a slip knot. I like doing this because it's easier to work with. And in the middle of the back part, we're going to attach this through here and chain 2, okay, from the back, okay. This is your straggler, and I've used this as a measure along, and this gives me the middle of my work. Okay, once you've attached your yarn, chain 2, and then we are going to work double crochets along this side, okay, to where we cut it. You should have a minimum of at least 24 stitches along here. Now just go ahead and work this in the open stitches. I can't tell you where to put it because, as you can see, the work is pretty open. So make sure you count through. I have 1, and I'm just going to work in between. 2, 3, and just work along the edge here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 right there at the end. And 24, and that means we've gotten to the opening of the head. Once you've gotten to that 24, we will tuck in this, weave in the straggler later. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we're going to take the other open side and put it together like that, and we're going to work on this side back to the center where we started. Okay, so the top of your first chain here, go ahead and yarn over and work a double crochet right there, just to make sure you put it right at the edge, right? See right there, right at the top there. Okay, you have 1 and 2 sides, and just make sure it lines up with this because we want it to blend in. Okay, so yarn over and put it right there in the first stitch and work a double crochet. Again, we want to count at least 24. That's our first stitch on this side of the work. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And we are back to where we started. We're going to slip stitch in our first chain 2 right there in the middle at the top there. Slip stitch to join. Now we have joined the front here and we've worked all around the edge of the hood. Okay, so your work should be looking like that, including the chain 5 here. And now what we're going to do is work pretty much a double crochet in each stitch all around until we come back to where we started, including in the chain 5. Okay, so we're going to start working on the neck part, chain 2, turn your work around. Again, we are working on the back side of our stitch only. Okay, and we're going to work a total of 10 rows. We just did the first and this is our second row. So go ahead and work a double crochet in each of the stitches for a total of 10 rows, and that will pretty much conclude the neck part of your scootie, or the hooded neck warmer is pretty much what I call it. The scootie is more of a scarf included. This is a hooded neck warmer, and that's pretty much what we're working on. So this is your second row. We're going to work 10 rows for the neck part. Okay, now remember, you want to use a soft yarn. This one that I'm using is a little chunky and it can be a little stiff because of the texture of it. So I encourage you to use wool like I did in the project that I just showed you. Or if you're using acrylic, I like the Charisma. It's a very soft one. I thought I had a piece here. Let's see. This, the Jif, no, this is Jif, sorry, the Lion Brand Jif. This is a very soft material. Or the Charisma. Charisma is, I don't know who the maker is, but I believe that's one of the softer ones. If you just want to try the project and you don't have any chunky thick yarn, you can use 2 strands of a regular worsted weight yarn, and that will work as well. Okay, so I have gotten to the chain 5 here, and what we're going to do is work in the back side of each of the chain 5. That's the first, the second, third, the fourth, and the fifth, and this closes the neck properly. So as we work, you will find now that you just have to go back and forth around the neck. Okay, and just keep working until you get back to where you started with the chain 2. And we've pretty much closed the neck now, so we are just going to work on the rows back and forth, like we did with the hood actually. So we're just going to work this way and then turn around and come back and turn around until you have a total of 10 rows, and that gives you a really chunky and thick neck warmer with the hood. And then I will show you how to add the string. Now of course you can wear it without the string if you don't want to have to tie it up. I like that because when it gets cold and windy and you want to cover your ears, it's nice to be able to have that string to tug on to cover your ears. So I'm going to continue working with you here because, like I said, I don't want to have to make two parts of the same video. I'm not going to finish all the 10 rows, but I do encourage you to finish all the 10 rows because if you miss one of the rows, then you won't have the thickness of the neck warmer part of it, okay? So I'm going to try and work as many rows with you as I can without making this video excessively long. I'm on my row 3 of the neck warmer. Like I said, the chunky yarn builds up really fast, and because we are working the double crochet, this is building up really fast. So go ahead and work your 10 rows. I'm on row 3, and I should be able to make at least 5 rows so I can show you what your work is going to look like. Now, if you do want to have a thicker effect, then you can do the same thing, but use the half double crochet, which is what I used with the wool. If I had more time, I would have done just that. And you can also use a single crochet. It just takes more time. So you can make this same hooded neck warmer using the single crochet, the half double crochet, or the double crochet like we are doing. For beginners, this is great because you can actually see your work build up really fast, and it's really exciting to actually see you complete a project as fast and as easily as this one builds up, okay? And like I said, if you're a seasoned crocheter, this is pretty much a 50-minute project, 50 to an hour. If you're a beginner, take your time. There is no hurry. Again, use a chunkier yarn because it builds faster and you're able to see the fruit of your work, which is very encouraging if you're new at crocheting. Okay, I'm coming to the end of my row 3, and then I'll work on 4 and 5. Then I will stop at row 5 so I can work on the string that goes around the neck. By the end of this row, you should already see the neck forming. As you can see, that's the neck part already. It's really an exciting project to work on. I do not have a pattern for this work only because I freestyle most of what I do, and I find writing down patterns takes too much of my time, and I don't have the time to write the pattern. However, if you're good at writing patterns and you can write a pattern for this particular project, I should love to have a copy of that pattern. And if you successfully make this goodie, please feel free to share it with my fans on my Facebook page. I have a link at the end of this video to my Facebook page, so you can go ahead and share with us your finished project. I would love to see what you guys come up with. I also remember saying in my previous videos that if there is something that you'd like me to work on, please ask. Now, if you ask, I will consider it, but it doesn't always mean that I'm going to make it, only because I don't have too much time on my hand. I have a 2-year-old who is so attached to me. And I have a lot of work going on every day because I have a shop on Etsy. And I get a lot of custom orders besides the orders that the items that I already have in the shop. So when I do find time like this, or still time away from my son, I'm able to make you a short video. So I'm glad I was able to get this started for you. And hopefully this will help you work on some of your winter projects and gifts to your loved ones. Okay, I'm on my row 4 here. I'm coming to the end of it, and then I will go to row 5 and then stop there. Please continue working on your rows until you have 10 rows. Move back up here. If you find you're not able to make this, but you would love it to have a hooded scarf like this, I do have different colors available in my shop on Etsy. You can also go to my shop and purchase one. Or you can custom order one from me in any color of your choosing if you like the hooded neck warmer but cannot make one for yourself. Okay, I've come to the end of my row 4. And I will add both pictures of this one and the wool in this particular tutorial's main page, so you can decide which one you want. Alright, so one more row and then I'll stop on row 5. You guys should continue and make 10 rows. And so another thing I wanted to mention about using the Hometown USA is that it's bulky, but it's also heavier than using wool. So it's a lot bulkier and weightier than the wool or the Charisma. I think I actually see one there. I'll show you guys what I mean by the Charisma. I believe it's also part of the Hometown USA brand. No, it is part of Loops and Threads. I think that's the one. That's the company that makes the Charisma brand. My husband is struggling to keep my son away from me so I can complete this video. But my son is trying harder to run to me. As you can hear, he's not a very happy camper. So, but I'm coming to the end of my row 5. day here in Arizona. We have 104 degrees outside with humidity. We had a lot of rain yesterday, but then the humidity is unbelievable. I'm not complaining, of course. We loved having the rain and the thunder in the night. I'm sorry about the noise from my son, but I really want to get this done for you guys. So please excuse the noise and the fast pace at which I'm getting this done. But I'm hoping that this will really help you guys work on the hooded neck warmer per your requests. I've received so many requests that I started to feel guilty every day that I sat on my computer to do some work. I wanted to make a tutorial for you guys. So, alright, so I have gotten to the end of my row 5. Of course, you guys will have to finish up to row 10 for the neck part to look as good. So I will stop on 5. And I want to show you what this looks like. We're going to turn it inside out because where you have the straggler here is the inside. So I'm going to turn it around so you can see. And basically you'll have something like that. This part will be longer, of course. You can make 10 or 12 or 14 or 16 depending on how bulky you want it to be around the neck. And basically you can just put it over your head like that. Let me move this down. And this is what you will have. As you can see, I only have 4 here. So if you have, 5. If you have 5 more, it will build the bulk here, which gives you a lot of warmth around your neck. Okay? So this here is your hooded neck warmer. And now we're going to work on the string that goes around. And that is actually the simplest part of it. What we're going to do is, I'm going to move back up just slightly. We're going to go ahead. I will not cut this because I'm working on that. Let me see if I can get this opened up. And basically, you're going to just work a chain of 100, long enough to go around the hood. Bear with me. I'm going to show you how to work on that. I was hoping my husband would take my son outdoors, but I guess he doesn't want to do that. So, alright, we're going to make a slip stitch. And we're going to work 100 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So go ahead and work up to 100. And then I'll meet you there. Bear with me, I need to close my door. Sorry about that. So we're working a chain of just 100 stitches, and that will give us a long enough chain to go around the hood. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my 100th stitch. And if you find 100 is not long enough for you, you can increase it. And if you find 100 is too much, you can make fewer. And basically this is what I have. So we're going to work this around the hood. Go ahead and cut it so that cut that off and pull this through. And what we're going to do is take your work. Now this of course is the opening of the hood. We will start adding this. Two ways to do it. You can use a tapestry needle. Let's see, I wonder where my big tapestry needle is. Or you can just, as you have been working double crochets, each of these stitches is pretty open, so you can just take this, okay, and starting, this is the 5 in the center right here. So we want to start with the one next to the edge of it, okay, and you can just use your hands to put this through, okay, put it through, and in between each one of your stitches going upwards, okay, in and out, in between each of them, okay, and just tag onto this, okay, and as you do, you're just kind of putting it in and out of each of these, just like that, okay, and as you go, it creates a ridge like that. This is one way of doing it. I don't like this way because it actually gives it a very jagged look. Now some people might like that, I don't, but I want to finish this so you can see it. It's a different way of doing it. You can have two of it of different kinds. So I want to go ahead and finish this so you can see. You won't be able to see it unless you're close up, but it's a great way to just make an easy project without having to add more yarn around your work. So just in between each of the double crochets, in and out, all through to the other side of it, and you pull through, making sure you leave a reasonable amount on this side. You will be able to balance it up as you wish when you're done. So the other method is, of course, is putting this along the edge, along the circumference of the hood, and making a single crochet over it in each of the stitches, in each of the double crochet stitches, which I'm going to show you as well once I'm done with this. Alright, so if you do that, and then you have your work looking like that, see, it creates a whole different ridge around it. And when you put this back on, this is what you have. And basically when it gets too cold, let's see, you just tag on this here and you can tie this up. It covers the ears and the forehead just fine, okay? Of course you have more here for the neck. This is one part, okay? Now, the part that I like is one that makes it look really refined, which is take this out and we will put it pretty much on the outer edge, and we will just work a single crochet over each of the okay, let me move up and show you this. Oh my goodness, there we are. So you're going to get this and fold it in half and basically put it on the outside of your work, Okay, and just all hold it from the beginning on this side. Okay, and we're going to get the yarn. I always start with a slip stitch like that only, and I hope you can see this. This is what your work is looking like. This is the edge, and this is the opening where you have the chain 5 right there, and where you see the straggler is the beginning of your work, and on each end is where we're going to start working the single crochet over this rope. So put your needle right there, the first double crochet, work a single stitch, and you're going to work over this. I always put it on the inside like that, and the back of your work like that, and you're going to work a single crochet in each of these stitches all around, covering the rope at the back, just like that. A single crochet, and this covers the rope. The rope is in between. Okay, so just work a single crochet over it in each stitch, in each of your double crochets here, all around, and the string will be in the middle. As you can see, it doesn't show this way and it doesn't show on the front. So you're working the single crochet in each of the double crochets, covering your string. Okay, and that will leave it unseen on the inside. So work a single crochet in each of the stitches around, and this will cover up the string. This one I like better because it's neater, but of course sometimes the ragged look is also good. It's its own way. If you're using like a brown or a khaki or a gray yarn, the ragged look would be the best fit for it. So as you see, as we work, your work is really neat, and you can barely tell that we have the string on the inside. So keep this on the back side and just work a single crochet all around the circumference of the hood right there. You can also add a pom-pom at the end on each side of the string to add more character to your work, especially if you're making it for a child, a girl, a little girl. Now, to make it for children, you would need to adjust the sizes. For girls 5 to 10 years old, instead of your base being 26, you would just work 20 for the base at the beginning. That's for little girls, 5 to 12 years actually. Okay. I don't have a chart for it, like I said. I rarely work on stuff for children because my target market is for adults and for the youth, for teenagers. So I rarely have stuff made for children or babies. And when I do, they don't sell anyway. So, all right, so I'm done here. And as you can see, I'm done with this. So we have both ends worked in. Of course, we will cut this here in a bit. So your work is in, and as you pull, you can balance the two, and it moves easily on the inside, and you can barely see, and that's what your work looks like. Okay, so now when I wear this, man, it's warm. All right, this is what your work looks like, and you can tug on this on each side, and the edge is very fine, as you can see right there. And at the end of each of these strings, You can make them shorter, like I said. This is 100 and it's pretty long. So you can make 80 if you want it shorter. And at the end of each of these, you can also add a pom-pom if you want to, or beads. But normally what I do is just kind of tie a knot, okay, at the end, and just tie what we call the farmer's knot, okay, just like that. And then I'll go ahead and cut off this edge, this side as well. Just make a farmer's knot to it. It's simple, and you don't have to add any more costs to adding a bead. But of course, if you add a bead, that's a great embellishment, or a pom-pom for young girls. Okay, so that's done. And then go ahead and cut that. And don't forget to weave in your ends when you're done. And make sure you have 10 rows at the neck. And then when you're done, please don't forget to share your finished work with me. I hope this tutorial helps you and you like it. And if you like it, go ahead and click on the like or the tick at the end, at the base of my video. Don't forget to subscribe for newer videos when I make some new ones, and I will post them. If you're subscribed, you will automatically receive a notification when I add a new video. Until another time, don't forget to share a finished project with me. I would love to see them. My Facebook page is my Facebook fan page link is at the end of this video, so don't forget to share with me, and don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends and family. Have a wonderful Sunday. Until next time, it's African Crab signing off.